I am Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, I wanted to talk about a reissue that has recently come out, and that is from 1976 from UFO No Heavy Petting. This album is their fifth studio album. It was their third album that they did with Michael Schenker. Now, before I show you the reissue and what comes with it, I just wanted to talk about the album for a little bit. This would be, this is the classic era of UFO. For some reason, UFO doesn't get talked about a whole lot in the vinyl community, even though they are one of the better rock bands to come out of the 70s. But I guess when you think of all the bands from the 70s, what a plethora of fantastic rock bands there were. But this is the lineup with Phil Mogg on vocals, Andy Parker on drums, Pete Way on bass, Michael Schenker on guitar. And this particular album introduced Danny Peronal, who only does the one album with them, but he plays keyboards on here. This would be the first album that would have a keyboard player throughout the entire album, and that affects this album. It actually it kind of broadens their sound a little bit. They went from just guitar to having keyboards in there because it kind of helped out with, especially live, kind of broadening their sound. And this kind of led the way to what UFO was becoming. They were a hard rock band that was very melodic. Also, they were very unique, I think, in their songwriting. This starts out with Natural Thing and goes right into I'm a Loser. So, I mean, those are a couple of classic UFO songs. Um, and then after that is where things get a little different. This album, it's probably not as heavy as some of the other UFO albums, and it doesn't get talked about quite as much. And I think that might be part of the reason, but it's still really a wonderful album. Uh, Danny does some of the co-writing on here, helps create songs that are a little different for UFO around this time period, like the album closer, Martian Landscape, which I like that song. Highway Lady, that's he wrote that whole thing. That's a really good one. So it's a solid album, like pretty much all the UFO albums around that time period. But it was kind of a bit of a commercial failure for them. It didn't build on the success that they had with Force It. I think they were expecting more, but for whatever reason, it just didn't go quite as well. Of course, we know that after this, that led to the album Lights Out, which was their biggest selling album. But anyway, on to the reissue of this. If you're a big UFO fan, you're really going to want to get this. This is a 3-record set. Here's what the back of it looks like. Uh, Gotta love that shirt that Phil Mogg is wearing there. That's very manly. I think part of the reason why maybe this album didn't go over as well is that's a horrible cover. That's a very uh, weird, weird cover. But this, like I said, this is a 3 vinyl set. Opens up. It's got all kinds of this little kind of a history of the album and the band around this time period. Got another neat picture there. That picture's pretty cool. It's nice to see the band back in this time period. Some of the funky clothes that they wore. So this is really nice. The 3 records. They come in these different sleeves, this is similar to what the Force It album was. This is the studio album, and it has like notes or whatever. It looks like it comes like from the studio. Same way with these two that are from the live album. The live album is something that was recorded at the Roundhouse. So it's the Roundhouse tapes, like we've heard of different bands doing that. And so it's like a smaller type venue thing. This live album sounds good. I think this one sounds a little bit better than the live album that was on Force It. There's what it looks like. It's on clear vinyl. I've got it upside down. I still do. Got the chrysalis label. So it's very nicely done. I'm very happy with this. I'm happy with the live album. It's a good kind of representation of them around 1976. You see kind of a band changing a little bit. I feel like they're shedding certain things, adding other things. So I just kind of wanted to show that this was out. The reissue of Heavy Petting by UFO, one of my favorite bands, and sounds great. You know, the studio album sounds really good, and the live album sounds a lot better than I thought it would. It's great too. It's live. I mean, there's amps buzzing at times. You know, there's stops in here, so it's really live. It's not touched up, and that's just kind of awesome to hear. So anyway, UFO Heavy Petting reissue in your stores now. I'm Gary. This is Physical Format Rock and Roll. Thanks for watching. Until the next time, my friends, I will see you down the road.